Will LA Knight ever win the WWE World title? I actually think this is a great question and something that I feel like we need to address. Will LA Knight ever be a world champion in WWE? And if not, does it seem like Triple H hates LA Knight? So let's discuss all of that. But first, if you're watching this video right now, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future uploads. So LA Knight has had quite the career so far in WWE. He came up as part of the 2022 draft class and made an immediate impact when he showed up on SmackDown. Things really seemed to be going in the right direction for him, but ever since then, he's sort of taken a step back. He spent months in a pointless feud with Solo Sikoa's bloodline before finally defeating Shinsuke Nakamura for the US title on SmackDown. Then, of course, he lost it weeks later with zero successful defenses. At WrestleMania, he was pinned by Jacob Fatu. At Backlash, he was also pinned by Jacob Fatu, and then at SmackDown, he lost clean to JC Mateo, who was wearing street clothes. Just nothing but losses for LA Knight. After winning the US title, he qualified for his third MIT match in a row, only to lose his third MIT match in a row. It looked like he was going to get his big play match against Seth Rollins, but then that got bumped down to Saturday Night Main Event. But even in that match, he picked up one of his biggest wins against Seth Rollins, only to have it revealed afterwards that he wasn't actually supposed to win. And now nothing seemingly planned for SummerSlam this year. He has not been on this past week's SmackDown or Monday Night Raw. The guy just can't catch a break. So what's going on here? Does Triple H hate LA Knight? Well, former WWE star Kevin Nash spoke with Sean Oliver in his podcast last year and gave his thoughts on LA Knight's current situation in WWE. Nash began by saying, "I think it took him 29 years to get over. I spoke to Triple H not too long ago about it, and he said, 'Hey, what do you think?' And he's like, 'Well, yeah, I kind of agree with you, but I can't give him same pay as guys that are going out there and doing original shti.' That's what he told me. And so that's where we're at with LA Knight right now. We're just going to have to see how it plays out." So it seems like Triple H is actually punishing LA Knight on the main roster because he doesn't want him over as other wrestlers. And right now, LA Knight may not be worth the same amount of money as Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins to the WWE. If you look at the top stars in WWE, they've all been with the company for quite some time. Roman Reigns has been a top guy since 2014. Seth Rollins has been a top guy since 2014. Most of the top stars in WWE today have been with the company for almost a decade or longer before becoming the top guys. So while LA Knight may not be worth the same amount of money as those guys yet, I think it's safe to say that he could be there in the next couple years. He's very solid as a singles wrestler, but I think he's shown enough to show that he definitely has the potential to be a top guy in the company. I think if WWE is smart, they'll put the focus on him this year, especially with the main roster. If you look at ends, there's already a bunch of guys they're ready to step up. There's a lot of guys waiting in line to take that next step. So I think if LA Knight wants to be a top guy, he needs to prove himself now. The problem is, though, he hasn't really been getting any TV time lately since he beat Seth Rollins. I think if WWE is going to push him, he needs to be on TV every single week. So here we are now, 2 weeks from SummerSlam, and he hasn't been on WWE TV in over a week. Look, I know WWE probably has big plans for LA Knight, but they've done such a poor job of building him up that it's hard to believe them. I remember all the hype they were giving him last year, calling him the next megastar, and now here we are a year later and he can't even get a match on TV. So what's the point? They've done such a bad job of building him up that a lot of fans have written him off, including myself. I've watched wrestling my entire life and I have to be honest, I don't believe LA Knight can win the world title anymore. Triple H care about him. He has his faves he pushes. But I think that's more on WWE than LA Knight. Like I said, I think if WWE would have done things differently, maybe this would be different. But the audience pushed LA Knight before the WWE was ready. I think it's safe to say that WWE has completely botched him. Do you think LA Knight will ever win the world title? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, check out this one. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.